I was on a roll.
Okay, you okay, go ahead and just go ahead and
All
just
right.
start over. Sorry.
Start the meeting. Okay, it's a preliminary matter. This is first. We're calling the meeting of the SAC to order at 9 a.m. Tuesday, July 14th, 2020. As a preliminary matter, this is Chris Young, Chair. Permit me to confirm all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Mark Catone.
Aye.
Kevin Kuster.
Aye.
Paul Wolf.
Aye.
Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Kathy Flynn.
Present.
Now, do we want the anticipated speakers in?
No, not yet.
Okay. Good morning. The open meeting of the SAC is being conducted remotely and consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12th, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted with the agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will feature public comment. For this meeting, the SAC is convening by video conference via Zoom app as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that all attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you, and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All supporting materials that have been provided members of this body are available on the town's website unless otherwise noted. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless I note otherwise. We are now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you're not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in a conversation with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. After members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment to those members of the public that have joined the meeting via Zoom. Members of the public who wish to speak must state their names and be acknowledged by and speak through the chair. Finally, each vote taken during this meeting will be conducted by roll call. Okay. That takes care of that. So the first item on the agenda would be to approve the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Okay, so roll call.
And, roll call again? Okay.
Yes, you roll call after every motion. Yes.
Oh, right, of course. Yeah, so we need a second for that motion.
Second.
Okay, thank you. So, Mark?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Aye as well, so that carries unanimously. There are no minutes to approve, is that correct?
Yes, I'm a little behind.
Okay, so we'll move on from that. And
Can you all see the agenda in front of you?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, Mr. Chair.
Yeah. No, thank you. Actually, jumping back. So the first item on the agenda is, my computer's a little bit slow, would be the straight wharf sign for NIR.
So, Mr. Chair, if I may, I will admit all three into the meeting because two have phone numbers and I don't know who they are for.
Okay.
I'm just going to admit everybody in. And so, is there anybody here to speak on NIR Straight Wharf? Is Chris Bartek there? There's always a bit of a delay.
Okay.
Hi, is there a Chris Bartek there for NIR?
No, I'm Sherry from Sign Here. We're
Okay,
doing the
and-
sign for her,
For which address?
for Dawn at 2 Harbor Square.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Is anybody on the call for the Straight Wharf application?
Doesn't seem like it right now.
Okay. Well, why don't we just review that?
Okay. Let me get out of here. Okay.
So at the,
This was a respoke.
right. And what's the size of that sign, Kathy?
Let me go back up here.
I have no internet this morning, so I can't tell you because I don't have paperwork.
We're talking,
I think it's
24 by 24.
40 by 20?
sorry, we're discussing another sign application right now if you want
I'm
to.
sorry.
That's
sorry.
okay. That's all right.
Okay.
Yeah, this is difficult. It's not
24 by 24.
live.
All right, so it's 4 square feet. That's compliant with the requirements. And this is just for the one, right? They have not applied for a second sign. Is that correct? Kathy?
There will be one coming before you next week, but right now it's just the one in the front of the building.
Okay. So going down the board, Mark, do you have any comments?
No.
Okay. Kevin?
I think the sign is fine. My only comment is it's really difficult to tell what the colors are for sure. My concern might be is that they're a little too bright.
Right there.
Yeah, I mean, bright. I don't know what bright red or.
Oh,
That's my concern. That we haven't really seen the color.
Kathy, can we just see the sign image again?
so that's the sign.
Okay.
And then that's what it looks like on the building.
Right.
Does it have a frame of some kind?
It doesn't seem like it does.
What's it say on the application?
Graphically, it shows one.
It says there's a beveled edge, which qualifies.
Yeah.
Paul, do you have any comments on this?
I don't care for the colors. I think they're way too bright. They're not consistent with historic colors.
Okay, so give that. Do we want to make a motion to request revisions with more muted colors?
Yes.
I would second that motion.
Okay, so why don't we just do a roll call vote that that's the
Yes.
recommendation?
Yes.
So Mark
Aye.
and Paul
Yes.
and Kevin?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so that's 4 ayes. We will write that as a recommendation that it's approvable with more muted colors, and we would like to see those colors in a revision.
Okay. I will let them know.
Okay.
Okay. So next one is Chip Webster. I know he is here.
All right, Chip, are you on the line?
Oh, it's upside down.
Hello,
Okay.
Hi, Chip.
everyone.
Yes.
So this is an application for a sign for myself for my office, and it's, as I understand, freestanding signs are not allowed since the original application to be a sign. And it's there should be a picture on here. It's similar, almost identical, the sign itself, to what was approved for 45 Surfside. So it's an existing sign that I have on my existing building that I would like to mount on a. And you can just go down there, Mike. And just call me when you're done. The 40
I'm sorry, I can barely hear you.
photograph, 45 Surfside sign that for the 45 Surfside Cafe. Maybe not.
Yeah, theirs is on a fence.
All right, so Chip, this is a split rail fence, correct?
Correct. Correct.
So this would be similar to Sherburne Commons as well, which is right down the street.
That's correct.
Okay. And how many sections of fence are you proposing as far as the split rail is concerned?
Well, I'm proposing one section, but I could certainly another section or two. The area, if you where it's set off from the road a bit, and if we go back to the site plan, you can see I could probably do another section or even two more sections.
Okay. Let me go down the list. Mark, do you have any comment?
Mark, you're muted.
Yeah, I would agree with more sections. So it appears less freestanding and more integrated into a fence. Do we, I know we're using Sherman Commons as sort of precedent for this, and I believe that's a pretty good size sign as well. Do we have any size comparison between the two? Or Chris, do you remember what size that one might be?
I don't offhand. Let me just take a look here. So, Chip, this one is about, does that say 5 feet? What's the width of this sign?
Yes, if you go to, I think you should have the dimensions on it.
Yeah, I'm just looking at a small screen, sorry.
It's 14 inches, I believe. 1'2".
Okay,
14 by 5.
Correct.
gotcha. So
14
it's
inches by 5 feet.
6 square feet, say. I think that would be compliant with fence signage guidelines, 6 square feet. And it doesn't protrude above the fence, which is our other requirement.
Yeah. It appears to be hung in that. Do we have any comments on attachment? Do we want it more fixed?
Gotcha. Yeah, Chip,
I don't see any anchoring.
Yeah, I'd be happy to change that attachment to a more fixed attachment.
Okay.
Could even do attachment at the top and the bottom so that it's totally affixed.
Yeah, I think those are my only comments. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Kevin.
1 second.
Just trying my annotate. How does that look?
Am I on?
You're on,
Yes,
Kevin.
you are.
Personally, I think it's not an appropriate sign. I think it's really a fake fence, and it's not even at an angle for the fence that a fence would be in. I think it's, trying not to be a freestanding sign when it really is. I also think it's too big. You're not that far away from the road to have to see a sign this big. And while I understand there may be a couple of variations out there, I think this is a really bad precedent, to continue, especially, out in the more rural areas. That's all.
All right, Paul?
First, the question, is this building there now?
This in the photograph, that's my existing location on Amelia Drive, and I'm relocating it to South Shore. So I was intending to obviously take the sign off of this building and move it to my new location.
No, my question is there a building there at 11 Surfside?
Yes, there is. To the site plan, you can see that.
Sorry.
So
That exists now?
it is in place. Yes, it's in construction, but it's substantially complete.
Okay.
So it is.
Would the building be visible from the road, which would relate to the sign?
You can see the building from the road through the driveway. You can see on this drawing there's a buffer that's a 20-foot no disturb buffer, except where the driveway cuts through. And from South Shore Road, you can see through that driveway cut to that corner of the building.
So there'd be a connection between, a visual connection between the sign and the building.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. So what's the pleasure of the members? Does somebody want to make a motion? We've got.
I'd make a motion to hold for a revision to, if they want to make a fence sign, it should be part of a contiguous fence. And I think it should be smaller.
Okay, so make revisions to, can you repeat that? I'm sorry. My phone cut out.
I'd like to see revisions that include it being on an actual fence that is of, a fence that works with the, with the property. Whether that's 2 sections on either side of the driveway or how that might work. I think it should be parallel with the road. And I think it should be smaller. I think a 5-foot sign that close on the road is really ridiculous. This is not something that somebody goes to every day.
Okay, is there a second for that motion? Or does anybody have any comments on that? So there's no second for that?
I guess I might second the motion, Kevin's motion. I think we should definitely see some more fencing. Whether it be a couple more sections left of the driveway and maybe a couple on the right as well, so it speaks to the entry. Surfside sign, I think, is a bit smaller. I don't completely disagree with the scale. Have we confirmed the scale, the size of the sign relative to fence signs that are permitted? Chris?
I don't believe we have, although I think 6 square feet is the size. Let me pull up the sign book for a moment.
And just as a point of clarification, Mr. Chair, and for the board members, he will not need an HTC approval for a 2-rail split rail fence.
Right.
So just
Right.
so
Yeah.
you can bypass that.
Yeah.
Right. So
Make it easier for him.
I mean, I guess we could. Well, let's give them as much as we can.
I think if you look in the sign book, the sign example for a fence sign is more of a quarter board that's attached to a fence. It's not, 6 square feet is a huge sign for something to go on a fence.
Yeah. I'm just trying to scroll through the sign book right now.
Split rail less than 3 square feet.
Oh, do you have it in front of you, Paul?
Page 8. Size, the split rail fence shall be less than 3 square feet. The sign on the split rail fence.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah. So on that, maybe, I don't know if it's amending Kevin's, or maybe it's in line with Kevin's motion. I think revisions that include additional sections of split rail, a minimum of probably 3 sections, and possibly considering some sections to the right as well, so it really looks more fence-like, and that the size of the sign should comply with the guidelines.
I'll second that.
Okay. All right. So then we'll do a roll call vote on that. Kevin?
Aye.
And Mark?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Okay. I'll vote aye. So, Chip, we would ask that you just
I got it.
review that section.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Chip.
Thanks, Chip.
Thanks, Chip.
Thanks, Chip.
Okay. Who is next on the agenda?
2 Harbor Square, so that's the woman who was waiting in the wings. I forget her name. I'm
Yep.
sorry.
Sherry.
Hi, Sherry, sorry.
It's okay. No worries.
All right.
Should we pull up your application?
So this looks like it's a wall sign, 22 by 40, rectangular.
Yep.
It's
a navy blue, and she'd like to have a peach color as the dawn, the lettering, and the outline, and the little sun logo.
Okay.
Fine, and it's going right there.
And it's going to the left of that door where the previous person had a sign, previous tenant of that building.
Okay. If I started comments, my only thing I see in the window, there are applied decals to the window at the moment. It looks like.
Oh,
So if she could be made
She
aware,
could take those down.
that they would have to come down, or they would have to be applied for as a sign, which I don't.
I'm sorry,
think
applied where?
No, they would have to be applied for as a sign.
Okay.
Painted on, they wouldn't be approvable. So just let her know that
Okay.
as one thing to be aware of. As far as the wall sign, just we'll go down the line. Mark
No concerns.
and Paul,
Fine.
Kevin.
My only concern would be how it compares to the size of the one on the other side of the door. I think we had a master sign plan for this building that perhaps had them at the same size. I'm not sure, but if there's not a master sign plan, there probably should be one.
Yeah, I don't think there is. She's got the other building on Anna J sign, which she's still waiting for a master plan from NIR, but this building, she said, does not have a master plan.
So
Got it.
do we know what the size of the sign is on the other side of the door? That would be my
No,
only
sir, I
concern.
Right.
I think we should see something that reflects what the whole building's going to look like, not just one side of the door. I think the design of the sign is fine. I'm just a little concerned about the size relative to the other sign.
Yeah, and Sherry, there is a sign on the other side of this door as we speak, right?
I do not know that. She took that
Okay.
picture. I did not go down there.
Okay,
I avoid town if I can.
got it.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong too, Chris. I haven't been there, but isn't this where?
I don't
Yeah.
think that the business that's next door is closer to Provisions.
Yeah, but I think the sign was right next to the door. We need to see the whole thing, I guess is the point.
Picture of the front of the building.
Right. No, I agree. There used to be a matching sign on either side of this door that they were approved sort of in conjunction with each other.
Are there
So
still two tenants?
I'm sorry, you talking to me?
Well, are there still two tenants in there, or are you the only tenant?
I'm not the tenant. I'm just making the sign.
Oh,
okay. So I guess we
Do we
would have
need
to
to
wait.
hold this for more information
Yeah, it sounds like that would be important
and
to
possibly a master sign plan?
sign up. Yeah.
I don't believe there is a master sign plan because she's run into that with Anna J. So she double checked with the
So
NIR person about
guess-
this sign.
Sure. My comment to that would be that if it is, which we're not clear on at this time, if it's multi-tenanted, then we should have a master sign plan. If it's not multi-tenanted, then maybe that's not as critical, but we don't know that. And we should certainly have more information on the building itself if there is this additional signage to the right of that door.
Right. So we can hold for revisions, and with the understanding, if it's multi-tenant, it will need to have a master sign plan applied for alongside this sign.
So that would be an NIR thing, correct? They own the building?
Yeah, NIR technically is the applicant here as well, because the landlord is always the applicant. The tenant.
Correct, but they're
was
not,
the beneficiary.
but they are in charge of the master plan. They're in charge of getting it if they don't have it, correct?
They
Right.
are, but it's going to hold up this approval otherwise.
Yeah,
Right. So
We do
she's,
this on a-
we're halfway into July and,
Yeah.
it's a short season as it is, so.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
so,
responsibility of the property owner to provide that.
okay. And what if they
So-
don't have it?
It's easy enough to produce. It's not that challenging. The guidelines, there's applications within available online, and they've certainly provided them on other properties that they own, so they're familiar with the process.
Mr.
I know, but they're holding up her other, she has 2 signs that she's applied for. Anna J, the first one was called Anna J, and they're waiting for a master plan for that.
If
That's
I may, excuse me, Sherry, if I may, at the very end of the sign book is an example of how to do a master sign plan, and you can more
Correct.
welcome to come down to the office and we can help you with that.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Yeah.
I'm just going to relay this message. I'm not involved in any master sign plan, so
Right.
I'm just
Okay.
relay the
Right.
message.
Okay.
Okay, so you want to find out if there's a master plan and you want a photo of the building, her store and the store next to her for signs? Is that
So
correct?
what it is the front door had traditionally a sign, well, not traditionally, but most recently a sign on each side. So
Right?
what we're saying is that the 2 sides are intended to be the same size. So without knowing what size the other sign is, we can't approve this sign. And a master
Okay.
sign plan would set those things in writing, which is very easy. The master sign plan isn't anything more than filling out a piece of paper that says, this is our master sign application and the 2 signs will be this size. But they can be approved at the same time as this wall sign could be approved. It's just a matter of us knowing what are we looking at in terms of the building. And so if someone goes down and measures the other sign on the other side of the door and says it's 22 by 40 or 18 by 30, whatever it happens to be, this sign should be the same. So
Well, this sign is filling in the spot that you can see to the left of her door where it's lighter shingles. That's
Okay.
where this sign is going, and that's where the other sign was. I don't know if that helps, but I don't know who the previous tenant was, so I couldn't tell
Right.
you anything about their signs.
right.
Mr.
I
Chair,
think really, yes, go ahead.
they can call the office and we can help them with this and get this along lickety split.
Right.
The master sign plan, they can make an appointment and I can help them.
Okay, thanks. I think it's fair to say though that the review of the board is the sign design is appropriate. It's just more about the sizing. It needs to match the other sign. So, and it needs to go through the process. But as far as feedback for the design of the sign, it sounds like there's no concerns. It's more about the just the size and making sure that we
Okay.
document the master sign plan. So, like I would take Kathy's advice. I think that she can help you get this put through pretty quickly.
All right, well, that's, like I said, I'm just going to pass that on. She can
Yeah.
tell IR, because
Yeah.
that's nothing that I want any part of. Okay, I will tell her that the sign has been verbally, tentatively okayed. It's just the size needs to match the other sign next to it, and they need a master plan. Correct?
Yeah, I think that sounds accurate. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah,
Right.
can we look quickly back at the application? I wasn't sure of the materials.
It's going to be wood.
Okay, bevel, okay, all right, thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Sherry.
All right, thanks so much. Have a great
Thank
day. Bye.
Thank
Is it
you.
okay to hang up, or do I still need to be here?
No, you're fine.
I've never done this before. This is kind
No,
of
you
crazy.
did a good job. You did a good
All
job.
right, thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, just want to make a roll call on the motion for the revision.
Oh, okay. So Paul,
Yes.
Mark,
Aye.
Kevin.
Aye.
Okay, and I vote aye. So, motion carries.
Okay, and I believe Josh Moore is here to discuss 4 and 5.
Okay.
Let me just double check.
Yes. Good morning.
Is Josh Moore in the? Yeah, he's.
Yes, yeah, that's me. Good morning.
Hi. Okay, so your wall signs in front, or you don't have access to video, do you, Josh?
Beg your pardon?
Do you have access to video for this meeting? No.
Hold on a moment. think so. Here we go. Yes.
Hi.
The
Hi.
meeting goes with me as well for the
Okay.
for the application.
Hello, hi everyone.
Hi.
All right, so you have two signs you're applying for today,
That's correct.
a wall sign and a projecting sign. And looking at, I guess we're looking at the wall sign first, okay? So that is, what's the size of that relative to that space that it's going to be sitting in? It's
It goes 20 by 20.
20 by 20, okay. How does that fit within the frame of the area above the door?
The area above the door, it's to scale. The area above the door is rectangular, and I can give you the exact on that, but it's like 48 across, something of that nature, and then like maybe like not quite 30, or 34
Okay.
height, and so it's there's a like a molding. There's a piece of molding above the door, and it fits within the molding with like maybe 2 inches above, and then more on the left and the right.
Okay, so it's not going to be sitting over the top of the molding in any way. It'll be
No,
contained
no,
within.
no, it fits within the molding.
All right. So it's painted wood with edge banding. It is purple and white. If everybody wants to look at the application, there is a Pantone color of purple that is shown on one of the last pages of the application.
Oh.
There you go. So we'll go down the board. Kevin, do you want to start?
I think isn't this sign already up somewhere, so it's just being relocated? Is that correct?
Well, we have the store at 4 South Water Street, and this space became available. We'll be moving to that space. So for the rest of this summer, that 4 South Water Street sign will be up, but it is this wall sign is the size and color and design that was approved for 4 South Water Street. It's the same.
Oh, okay. It's just not the same sign.
No, it's not the same sign.
Then I guess my only question would be, I wonder if you wouldn't want to make it a little more horizontal than to fit within the framework. If it's a new sign, that would be something I would look at. I don't have an issue with the design of the sign other than that.
Okay. Kevin? Oh, excuse me, Paul?
I think Kevin's right. The rectangular would be more appropriate with the space it's in. But otherwise, I don't have any questions.
Okay, Mark?
I would agree with the comments that have been said.
Okay, I would agree with that as well. So do we want to suggest a size revision now or just request revisions to come into the next meeting? It's hard to know, I guess, what the size, although we could say, well, it's hard to know.
You're going to end up, the only comment I'll make in looking at the graphic on the screen now is I think you're going to end up with more white space left and right, whereas right now it's fairly even all the way around, I guess, unless there's some design change to the sign. But if it goes more horizontal, I don't know if that's a successful sign design now that I look at that. My 2 cents. I mean, it's not bad the way it is now. I don't disagree with the horizontal proportions, but I don't know if the graphics here, it's very square in nature, lend itself to that. So
it'd be helpful to see it in relationship to the other sides. I mean, it's not going to be hard for people to find this place. Both signs are really quite visible.
And the projecting sign does have a cask graphic that not
Does it make
20.
sense for us to look at that?
Yeah, let's look
Can
at
we
the
do that?
projection.
So here's the specs for that. 32 by 60. That's,
Yeah. So there's your horizontal format, I suppose. More or
Oh,
less.
the cask went away.
Okay. 32 by 60.
Well, that's a question, Kevin, right? Am I seeing an @ sign on that sign?
Pardon?
I think that's a cask.
See that?
It
There-
looks like it's going away.
Yeah,
What
it's
is-
a barrel. It's just hard to reproduce the barrel because there's not a barrel key. So I was.
Oh,
Oh, I have a barrel key. That's weird. Okay.
I only have a bottle or two.
All right.
I think that is much more appropriate in the same proportions for over the door. Mark, I mean,
Yeah,
that's all
I-
your problem, I think.
I agree. I agree.
So,
It's Vanessa.
well, one thing we could do, if everybody's comfortable with this projecting sign, why don't we vote on this first? And then we could just suggest revisions to the wall sign that would mimic this. Does that sound like a good plan?
Yes.
All right, so
Sure. How are we size-wise with this, Chris?
this is fine. It's 3.5 square feet, so it's perfectly acceptable.
Okay.
So can we have a motion to approve the projecting sign?
So move.
And a second?
Second.
Okay, we'll go down. Paul,
Aye.
Kevin,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. Okay, so the projecting sign is approved. Then regarding the wall sign, do we want to have a motion to make a motion to hold revisions? Yeah.
So moved.
Okay, and a second?
who seconded that without, they were sneezing?
Sorry.
Who did that, Mark?
Mark?
Sure, second.
Okay.
All right, then we'll do a roll call vote on that. So Kevin,
Aye.
Paul,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
and I'm aye. Okay. So to the applicants, does that make sense what we just did?
It does. Will it require a new application?
So it's just a revision,
No.
just submit a new design for the wall sign.
Got it.
And have it be something, horizontal nature that that kind of fills that space more appropriately.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, if I may, if you want to get those into me as soon as possible, because I can get you on the agenda for next Tuesday.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. If that's doable for you.
Very
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Certainly.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
thanks. And the projecting sign is approved, so that can go ahead.
Okay, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Signing off.
All right,
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
so that concludes the applications, correct?
Yeah, it does.
All right.
What happened with NHR? Or
NHA?
NHA.
I think he's still working on it, I'm guessing, no?
Yeah, he hasn't brought revisions in yet, so I'll wait till he does that before I.
Okay. I didn't know if it was still active or.
No. I believe that Ben was taking the feedback and gonna bring back revisions.
Okay. Kathy, I had emailed you, and I know this is something that Paul brought up in the past regarding the Richmond rock sign.
So I did speak with Elizabeth yesterday, and she is gonna join next week for a discussion.
Okay.
That we can get into more detail next week about that.
Okay.
Is there a sign
discuss
out
it?
there now?
Well, it's not on the agenda to discuss right now, so I don't want to
Okay.
violate the open meeting laws, but we'll
Okay.
discuss that next week.
So,
Yeah.
fair enough.
But
I
anything
have a
else?
general question.
Sure.
I'm still a little uncomfortable with the 11 South Shore Road sign. Does anybody know, is he building a house or building an office there? Because it was my understanding that that was zoned residential.
I think
It
it's
is his
both.
office.
Does anybody know?
Well, I
It is going to be his office as well as his house. I think it's
So it's a home occupation allowance, which I think you can do,
Yeah, you
which
can.
is what he did a million years ago back on Maya Comet.
Good.
Resided in his office. In fact, and resided at Amelia Drive as well, for that matter. But
Okay.
yeah, not to speak for Chip, but that's my guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is an awkward one. There's no doubt. But I'm not sure with the precedent of Sherburne Commons being next door, as well as other, the way that the fence sign regulations are written, if we have a whole lot we can do to prevent it. I think it was a good catch on the size. And of course, the fence sections will help limit it. Sherburne Commons definitely exceeds the size requirement, but I guess we can, that is what it is. So we'll have to just follow the guidelines with each application.
I'd argue that Sherburne Commons is a little bit different enterprise than.
Sure. No doubt. And that's what I'm saying. I think we just hold each application against the merits of the, or the requirements of the guidelines. But I'm not sure we have the ability to say no outright without, being a little arbitrary. That's my personal thought, but it would be a shame to see a sign at the end of every driveway. There's no doubt. So, any other comments or concerns?
It's a good day to go clamming.
Okay.
all right.
Put that on the agenda. So do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved, or motion to adjourn.
All right, seconded. All in favor, say aye and log out.
Okay, no, you have to do roll call.
Oh gosh, Mark,
I know.
Aye.
Kevin,
Aye.
Hi.
Paul, and Chris says aye. Thank you, Kathy.
Okay, we'll
Take
see
care,
you
guys.
next week, guys. Thank you.
All
All
right, bye now.
Thank you.
right, bye.
Bye.
It's tough to gauge because you don't know what, some of the